I 18 just found out my little sister 14 is pregnant. A few hours ago my little sister told me and our other sister that she's pregnant. We sat in silence for a while because no one really knew what to say, but when we did talk about it I was a little disappointed in her. I feel like I failed as a big sister. What's most fucked up about this situation, she doesn't know who the father is. There are two possible fathers. But what I really need advice on, she's not planning on telling our parents. I don't know how that's going to work, but she isn't telling them. I know that's not the smart decision. I know she'll hate me, but should I tell our parents about this, or should I mind my business and see how this all plays out? Your sister needs medical care, ASAP. You need to get her to a real doctor who will inform her about her choices. You should not spend any more time moralizing this. As someone who actually did get pregnant at 14. Yes, medical care is a must despite how she chooses to go about this. Your sister's life is at stake here. The longer you wait to tell your parents, you are putting her in more risk. She might hate you for this, but this is the right thing to do. Or you could take her to the doctor without informing your parents, but the doctors will inform them anyway, so there is no point in not informing them. These are your only options. You need to take her to the nearest Planned Parenthood or similar clinic as soon as possible. There are places called crisis pregnancy centers. Stay as far away from them as you can. They're known to dispense false medical information and use over-the-top guilt and coercion tactics to try to convince you to keep the baby. The last thing your sister needs is that experience. If she wants to keep it, fine, but she needs real medical information and a clear idea of her options and all possible consequences. Take your sister to a clinic that provides confidential services like Planned Parenthood. I disagree with you telling your parents for her right away. You're 18 and she came to you because she obviously needs help and is most likely clueless on what to do. Take her to a clinic, let them talk to her about her options and have them provide her with materials, resources about pregnancy, adoption, and abortion. Be there for her and support whatever she decides because it's still her body regardless of her age. Help her find out who the father is and, like other comments said, find out if they are 18 plus. If she wants to keep the baby, encourage her to tell your parents when she feels ready. Your role in this is to be her support system and not throw her under the bus by telling your parents prematurely. Give her a chance to tell them about it first. Just want to jump on this and say that if you decide not to tell your parents just yet, you need to be the one that ensures she is having routine checkups and maintaining proper nutrients and vitamins. Great comment, but if she decides to get an abortion, there is no reason to talk to the possible fathers about it. Don't tell them without telling her you're going to. It's unfair to be ambushed. Also, do you know what her intent is? I know of a person deeply traumatized by their parent making their decisions for them. I'm not sure, she didn't say if she was keeping it or not. I really hope your sister is able to get an abortion. 14 is just too young to deal with the physical and mental toll of pregnancy and birth. I also really hope that you can get your sister some sex education, as to be pregnant without a clear idea of the father at 14 suggests that she is engaging in some risky sexual practice without the proper knowledge and tools. My advice on this: talk to her about her plans and approach her gently to find out who the potential fathers could be. It's crucial to find out if they are over 18. Ask her about her future plans and if she's ready to work harder at achieving them, since many responsibilities come with having a child when you are still a child yourself. Do not tell your parents yet, but act quickly. Take her to a Planned Parenthood or women's clinic as soon as possible. She is young, and depending on laws in your country, it's vital that she go talk to a medical professional as soon as possible to keep her options open. Ask her who she wants her support system to be, regardless of the choice she makes. Whether she goes through the pregnancy or not, a young girl is not equipped to carry it all on her own. You know your parents best, and if they could react badly, she's going to need people to rely on. Once you've done all of those steps, then you can proceed. An ambush will stress all parties involved out more than sitting your parents down to have a calm conversation will. If she chooses to terminate and not tell your parents because she fears they'll react horribly, don't. Once again, you know your parents best, and if keeping an abortion a secret to allow your sister to continue living in the house, then you need to think of her safety, but only if the father is also the same or a similar age. Look up the statute of limitations on consent in your area. If the father is not of similar age, you must tell someone immediately. She is a victim of abuse, and you can't stand by that. I hope everything works out for her. I couldn't possibly imagine the inner turmoil. I tried to hide my first pregnancy, 16, from my parents. My mom found out before I was showing. Because she did my laundry and I obviously had missed a couple periods and I was throwing up. If your mom and dad aren't idiots, they're going to find out on their own. On top of that, she is 14. I thought having a baby at 16/17 was rough. But don't go straight to your parents and play tattletale. Instead, talk to your sister. Tell her that this is something she can only hide for so long and that it is a huge turn of events for her future. She needs to speak to your parents and really think about her options. I would say tell your parents unless she is thinking about having an abortion and they would stop her. Shouldn't she still have an abortion after she tells her parents? A pregnancy at her age can cause severe damage to her body and has a high risk of endangering the unborn child. Also, she's underage. If one of the potential fathers is over 18, then that's rape. She is way too young to become pregnant. You need to go see a doc. This is not the age to give birth. Most of cases it's a stillbirth or a very weak child. I would suggest abort it. But still have a word with your doc. Dude, you need to get her to a clinic to terminate ASAP. A pregnancy at this age would endanger her health and wreck her future. Also impress the importance of proper forms of birth control on her, or it'll happen again. How old are your other sisters? I ask because it's very possible that one of them may tell your parents first. I do worry that your sister is making a lot of questionable decisions already, so the sooner your parents can get involved, the better. You should be there to support her emotionally, as I expect she will have a long, hard road ahead of her to deal with this. How old are the two possible fathers? If she is 14 and they aren't close in age, then statutory rape becomes an issue. I'm not sure about the other one, but I know one is her boyfriend. He's 16. What is she planning on doing if she isn't telling your parents? This isn't something that can be kept a secret. Yes, tell your parents 14 is not old enough to make a decision about this alone, Emo. I disagree with everyone saying tell your parents. You would be breaking her trust. Before going to them, sit her down and tell her she needs to tell them. Tell her why. Explain it calmly. If she wants to have this baby in secret, explain to her why that's simply not feasible. Tell her the implications. If you feel like you failed to tell her about safe sex, at least tell her about her options now, like getting an abortion. She also needs to go to an OB ASAP. Put yourself in her position, as hard as that might be, and then proceed. Edit. Immediately telling your parents because she's just a kid doesn't respect her as an individual. Think back to when you were 14 and remember how frustrating it was to have your opinion disregarded and tossed aside because of your age. It always surprises me how many people forget what it was like to be young. I would normally tend to agree with you, but in this case, it seems to me like her health is much more important than her feeling respected right now, especially since it seems pretty clear that she isn't equipped to deal with the situation. If OP isn't well equipped either, then telling the parents so that they can help her get an abortion ASAP could be important, which they'll probably have to give their consent to anyways if she wants that abortion, in many states. Obviously, if the parents have to know, I would encourage her to decide to do it and not just do it without telling her first. Holy shit, abort this now. Your sister is a child and if she will want to raise this thing inside her, she will be miserable and her whole life destroyed. Both of them. Get her to the doctor ASAP, tell her all the risks. There is no way her parents won't find out, or school. Abortion is the only way. She's a child and needs a responsible person to guide her to the best decision, which of course is abortion. Children shouldn't have children, simple as that. Step up, get her an appointment at a clinic, pay for it if you have to and get on the ball here. Quick. Then get her on reliable birth control and slap her silly until she stops having sex at such a young age.